World Cup 2025.
Absolutely. Take care, guys.
And after basically no break at all, we are going to start up with our next match here on the A stream, Romania versus Finland. This is, I think, a really fun match because Romania now is a team that's rebuilt a lot of their roster. Finland, we've talked a lot about as a team who is almost always top 24, serves as a very good test of strength for teams looking to break beyond that mark. I'm still Dio. This time around, I'm joined by Azer, who is, of course, one of our regular casters, a well-known face here at the World Cup, as well as a guest caster here on the OS World Cup. A welcome to Lisseroni for this match.
Good morning. Thank you. I'm so excited.
Yeah, this is going to be a good one. I think this is going to be the first time I think we see Romania play in this entire tournament. I think this team is super interesting because they keep kind of rotating a couple players in and out. I think, you know, most notably not having some of the bigger names they've had over the last couple of years, but still keeping like that really solid core four, I guess, which we've already seen from qualifiers like Badu, Eternum, Heston, Origin, or like in the top like 60, I think, of qualifier stats. They're doing really good, and they're playing most maps. So if you're facing them this early in groups here, as Finland is, I think it's pretty scary.
Yeah, I think so for sure. This is definitely a very, very scary prospect to face them here as Team Finland. But I mean, Finland they've always had a pretty solid time on the early stage, right? It's not like they've ever had really a bad time on a lot of early stage map pools. They're very frequently able to eke out some wins where it counts, not necessarily be the highest scoring team ever, but always have some fight in them. So looking to see, especially because Finland has already played 2 matches, if their experience on this pool can maybe shake Romania a little bit in what is their first matchup on this pool in the group stage.
That's right, yeah. I mean, that experience, I think, just adds up to a lot, honestly. Just being able to have a couple matches played already makes you so much more comfortable. And, I mean, we have seen some of the Finnish players, like, do some pretty insane things. I'm pretty sure LRD dropped, like, an SS on Imake Samba on their first match or something. And, of course, like, Amasetic, I think we're always looking towards as probably being, like, the biggest name on that team, I would say. But they've got a pretty good depth of roster, I think. And now that they've played a couple matches, I definitely wouldn't count them out, even though they're 0-2 right now. So I think they're already pretty much guaranteed to be bottom 2 of this group. But I think they still have a pretty strong chance to fight for 3rd. So I am actually curious to see how this goes on. Even though this is the top seed and, against the bottom seed in this group, I definitely would not be counting Finland out of this one. And as we get through bans, looks like Hard Rock 1, DT2 are out. And we'll see. I'm honestly not sure what Romania wants to play. Romania is, oddly enough, for a team that seems to rely on that core 4, I don't think they have any strengths or weaknesses. Like they're probably like one of the best, like, well-rounded teams, I think, in the challengers groups of teams, I suppose.
Yeah, I think they're just a solid team overall, which is it's very fun. And this is going to be a fun map. This free mod 1 here, Eyes on Me, AR 9.2, some flow aim tech here, a little bit of density as well, a little bit tough to read for some players in this free mod 1.
It's so short. This map is so funny. Now, Liz, have you seen a couple of maps already? You've been watching a couple of matches, right?
I'm really excited. I hope that they pick Fremont too. I think that's my favorite map out of the entire pool for this week.
Yeah, that one is really nice.
Right?
Yeah, it's super streamy. I think I wouldn't be surprised to see Romania pick that one, actually. But then again, I think, like I was just saying, they're so well-rounded, it's really hard to guess what they're gonna pick around. But considering I think think having Badu as one of their core players, that's probably not really one of the maps that Badu's looking to play. So I'm not sure if they're going to play into that too much.
Lucky's a good second.
Yeah, as for Finland, I think for the most part, Finland has been going for a lot of the gimmickier stuff. You know, a lot of the reading stuff in this pool, the alt stuff. But I think the same can more or less be said about them. I don't think on a pool this easy they have any particularly like strong or weak sets of maps. From their matches so far, I think Hidden 1 was like their weakest map. I think they only got like 2.5 mil or anything, but I wouldn't be surprised to see them play towards a lot of the free mods. That's you know, among the week 1 group stage statistics that we have, they're basically near the top for those. I think they're 6th, 7th, and 3rd for being C22, so that's really impressive. They also have a pretty solid depth of mods to play around. They've been running different players on every sets of mods. Even the maps they've played more than once, they've ran different players on different mods. So we'll have to see what they go for this one. I think for this one last time they played Kalanlu with Hidden and Amasetek on Hard Rock. And Dio, I mean, I imagine on Romania you're probably seeing Badu Hidden turn on Hard Rock, I would assume.
I kind of have to assume, yeah. I feel like you could see a Nomad on a tournament, maybe, but no. It's actually going to be a different player taking the Hidden. Is Origin on the Hidden, and double Hard Rock for Romania with the Overmod on this free mod 1. We have seen a couple of Overmods on this map. New Zealand, in fact, going double Hard Rock on this last weekend and actually winning it. Brazil going double Hard Rock on this last weekend and winning it twice, in fact. This map is very dense, right? It's AR 9.2, and that, for a lot of older players, might not sound super dense, but when you have a tech stream finger control map at that approach rate, for a lot of players, that is pretty high density reading. And so a lot of players are just more comfortable on this with Hard Rock than with Nomad, just because of that reading aspect, despite the higher mechanical difficulty. Let's get into this map. An early miss from Mike Tyson on the side of Finland, but everybody else still holding on to these full combos, and we're already almost halfway into this map. There goes Kahes, though, one of those two Hard Rock players breaking for Romania, as everyone else still holding on to these FCs, and the accuracy keeping things on the side of Romania for now. But Origin finds the chain miss on the Hidden. Mike Tyson trade once again on the Hard Rock, but it's 3 FCs to 2 now in favor of Finland. And this is what we were talking about before the match started, Azer. It's not that Finland is the highest scoring team on every map necessarily, but they've always got some fight in them, and just keeping your FCs into the second half on this map is so huge.
This might also be one of those benefits from having played a couple matches already. I mean, we had Amasetek on Hard Rock before, and maybe as a learned experience from that, they figured out that Amasetek might be better on the Nomad for this and have Mike Tyson tank the Hard Rock, because clearly it's working pretty well for them so far. Amasetek still holding one of their FCs, as we've got a little bit of buffering, I suppose.
Oh boy,
Becho, you know, in case you just got here, just woke up, Becho's not been so kind today. There's been a lot of issues.
Too early.
This one seems scary, though. I hope it's not an actual disconnect, but we'll have to see.
But it also just doesn't really matter, because Origin was not full comboing anyway, and this is a nearly 500,000 score lead now. Actually, over 500k. Yeah, nearly 600k, wow, yeah, for Finland. So it just would not have mattered. Very good FC from both Badu and Isaac on this map. Both of those Nomad players finding the FC for their team.
Okay, it looks like it is actually disconnect. I don't think their scores on the MP yet. But yeah, I mean, even that, with the score would not make a difference. So it's just a matter of waiting just to see what they got. But I don't think it's going to affect much of the result here. Finland pulling up, though. First map for them, Breakpoint. Pretty much 3 FCs. I mean, Kalanlu found a slider break at some point, but that's looking really good for them. I think, you know, if you're in Romania's shoes here, again, this is their first map being played, right? So you would want, like, for confidence to win your first pick, but going into this, into a Breakpoint straight away in a group, by the way, that like Romania really needs to win this match in order for them to do good. Like, they have New Zealand in this group that's been kind of I wouldn't say upsetting, but they've been a lot better than a lot of people gave them credit for as like the second seed of this group. And Indonesia is also definitely not out of the picture here. So this is all in all a really important match for Romania to be winning. So they'll have to find out if they can bounce back from that. I will say that might not have been the greatest pick, considering how good Finland has looked, specifically on all 3 of the free mods. There's a lot of other maps I think that Romania would have the advantage on in this pool. I'm not sure if I would give them the advantage on that one specifically. So we'll see if they find an adaptation there as we wait for Finland's next pick, and I guess for Origin to potentially reconnect.
Is every map in this pool a custom map?
There's a pretty good mix of both. How many customs off the top of my head? 2, 3,
the Nomad 2, the
4,
Nomad 4,
5,
I think.
6, 7. There are 7 customs in this.
There's really
pool, I
that
think.
many. I actually didn't think there was that many in this pool.
Oh wow.
Well, there's
like
also
that.
2
It's
map
exciting.
edits. I wouldn't really
Yeah,
call
I
them customs,
don't know
but
if I
yeah.
count those.
I think the biggest surprise for me in this whole pool is how much people have been avoiding Nomad 1 for some reason. Like,
Oh really?
I
I'm
think
not
it
sure
makes sense.
what it is. There's a lot of people that have been saying that, you know, the swing part of that map is a little too uncomfortable maybe, but it's kind of odd. Usually when people ignore Nomad 1, they ignore it. It doesn't have any pick ban presence, but this is like the 3rd most banned map this stage or something. Like, we haven't really seen that before. It's really weird.
Is it just the hardest, or like you said, the most uncomfy or RNG compared to the rest? For
I
picking?
think there's 2 things for it. Number 1, Nomad 1 early stage is, you know, it's a 6.7 star aim map. For OWC players, generally speaking, you're gonna have 4 players who can all FC that in solo, right, with however many tries, pretty much no problem. But consistency in tournament means that this is a map that's super FCable for everyone on every team, that you have 1 try on in match, so it's always gonna feel a little RNG, and then also it's going to be a little bit less comfortable because it is swing, right? It's not just basic rhythm, it is a swing rhythm map, which always makes it feel a little bit less comfortable, but also means that your scores on it are probably going to be worse than you might expect, without recognizing that other teams' scores are also probably going to be worse on it. So I think teams are getting worse scores on practice, and maybe not quite recognizing that, oh, the other teams are probably also getting worse scores on this because it's a swing map. So we don't need to ban it. We can just leave it up and ignore it. But I think because there's that extra factor, I think teams are banning it more, which is a weird thing. I agree, but I think makes sense when you take the whole stage into account, because especially early stage, it's basically a coin flip kind of map because anyone can FC it. This map is not that kind of map.
Yeah, this map is honestly really, really good. Have you seen this one yet, Liz?
I have not. I like the art. I like the sound of it already. The song is good.
Yeah, this is a bit of an alt map here with a tiny bit of snap aim, not too much, but it's quite comfy. I think this is honestly one of the best songs of the entire group stage, I gotta say. A lot of people have been liking this one. This is a bit of an interesting pick from Finland, though, because out of their 2 other matches, they have not played this one at all. They haven't picked this, and no one picked this into them. So their first pick here being entirely new is pretty interesting. I wonder if they have, you know, something planned for that. Maybe some information that we don't have, or maybe they're just picking it because it's a good song. Who knows?
This is kind of short too, isn't it? Or is that about average? 2 minutes?
After DT, it's a little short. DT picks, though, tend to be a little bit shorter on average than most other picks. But 2 minutes and 7 seconds after DT is a little bit on the shorter side. It's one of the shortest maps in the pool. Funny enough, there's 2 free mod picks that are shorter than this, which I don't know if I really expected. I'm going to be honest. 2 free mod picks that are shorter than anything in the DT pool is usually not how that length balancing thing works, but sometimes it just turns out that way. So yeah, this is relatively short. This is also, as you said, Azer, a really control focused map. We'll see how both of these teams are ready to adjust to something like this. We already had, honestly, a pretty control focused, pretty short free mod one to begin with. So I think Finland may be riding the momentum from that a little bit and just picking into this DT3. I maybe would have expected the free mod 2 instead, because it's, I think, a little bit more similar, especially in terms of, you know, mod choice. But I think this works too. Let's see how they do on this.
Yeah, we might be waiting a little bit here. I think Bancho's not too happy. I don't know what someone did to Bancho today, but please go apologize. They've not been so kind to us. These last couple matches, lots of connection issues across the board. So we might be taking a second to get everyone in here. In the meantime, though, I guess I mean, we do have Listeroni here, which you know, if people aren't really aware, you know, you've been I guess you started playing the game somewhat recently, right, and taken a bit of an interest in the tourney scene and hosted your own tournament and stuff. How have you been enjoying your OWC this year so far with the new group stage and stuff? I think it's been a lot of fun. Have you been liking it?
I love it. It's so fun. Like you said, I'm newer. I've been playing for about a year and a half now, I think, and quickly fell in love with the game and the community. And one of the first things I did and fell in love with is watch partying OWC last year, so I'm super excited for this year. I love the group stages. I love the my favorite part of OWC, I think, is all the original songs. That's my favorite part.
Yes. Someone else.
Page
That's also my
rather.
favorite part, honestly. It's so nice.
That's
I
my
love
favorite.
promoting a bunch of the new music. So, like even
Yes,
this week, I
finding
guess
new
with Memo
people.
Demo, not a lot of people would know of Memo Demo. I kind of like promoting like these more indie, unknown artists and giving them a slot alongside like all the big names that we usually have, and we do have some really big ones later on, fairly soon. I'm really excited to talk about them, but it'll have to wait as we can resume this match now. I guess Bancho has made amends and allowed us to continue.
I'd like to thank Bancho for the privilege of being able to cast this map in this matchup. Thank you, Bancho. I appreciate it. Appreciate the privilege. As we're going to start up with this DT3 second pick, 28 minutes in. Can you believe it? But we will get going now. And I think pretty expected rosters for both teams. Cast Origin, Eternum Badu is the core roster for the most part for Romania. Anesthetic Civilju, Zapay, and Mike Tyson, pretty similar to the last map as well for Finland, which should make sense. Very early miss for Zapay on the side of Finland. And again, this is a pretty short map, so those early misses do start to matter. Already a 50k score lead for Romania, especially with that DT multiplier. And there goes Kahest as well, so does trade out that miss. Combo lead back the way of Finland, but not into any of the truly difficult parts of this map quite yet.
I think this map's kind of like that. It seems very unassuming, but there's so many of these random snaps. Well, not really random, but they can really catch you off guard, especially with nerves and all that. We've been seeing a lot of misses across the board here as well. So Finland gonna be finding 2 more, down to 2 FCs. And so Romania looking good on this one, despite Kahest finding the earliest miss there. And yeah, like you said, these 4 players on the Romania team, we're going to be seeing them on almost everything, I think. Even in qualifiers, they played pretty much every map. I think we might be seeing like
Okay.
Robotonic and Alex Belay on the other 2 DTs if they're played, but outside of that, I think you're going to expect to be seeing all 4 of these guys for a lot of this match.
Yeah, we had something that looked a little interesting there, but ended up not being all that much of a difference maker in this map. Eternum finding the miss there on that difficult section, but the entirety of the rest of Romania holding strong. Those 2 FCs for Origin and Badu still going. Anesthetic drops that last FC for Finland, or one of the 2 FCs for Finland. Just Mike Tyson holding the FC into the ending for them. And honestly, it's a pretty good team score for Finland. Nearly 3.5 million, but it's nearly 3.9 million for Romania. Good 400,000 point lead on that DT3. And so, yeah, Romania, they get breakpointed on their first pick. They lose that to Finland, but They immediately break point back on that DT3, despite honestly a pretty good team score from Finland. The double FC for Origin and Badu, plus the minimum 780k for both Kahest and Eternum, is a huge team score.
Yeah, that's actually a very high team score on their side. That's beating a lot of the other teams that have played this. It's like on the upper half of the teams that have played this map on in week 1. So still they still have a lot to play for in this pool here. I'm just trying to think about what they go for next. I'd like to see Mike Samba, honestly. I want to see. I don't know if they have Alerty. I don't think he's put a map in this match so far, but I want to see the SS again.
I want to see Tiebreaker.
I think we all want to see Tiebreaker. always a big fan of Tiebreakers, honestly.
Has anyone
You
had
mentioned-
Tiebreaker yet?
We have had a couple of tiebreakers. I think just the 2 from last weekend so far. In
I think that's all we've
Singapore,
had.
Hong Kong, and Chile, Spain. No others this weekend so far. We've been close a few times today, but not quite. Speaking of tiebreakers, talked a little bit about original songs. We've put a couple originals from other modes into this pool, like the No Mod 4 and the Pre-Mod 2, or rather the pooling team has. Wow, speaking of No Mod 4.
Yeah, they heard you.
There we go. Also not an original tiebreaker this week. I know this was talked about during the showcase a little bit, but maybe as the team's ready up for No Mod 4, you can talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, I mean, I guess last year we had a tiebreaker, an original tiebreaker for every single stage, but it kind of prevented us from using any sort of longer existing maps that we wanted to showcase in OWBC, such as this one right here, this TB in the group stage, Destined Victoria. So there won't be originals for every single one, just for the stages where we have an interesting map like that to show for it. We also have some custom maps that are not originals as well. There's a couple of songs that we really wanted to have, but were not like originals, I suppose. So it kind of allows us to move our resources elsewhere. So there's still the same amount of originals that you'd expect over the course of the whole tournament, but yeah, not all tiebreakers. They're going to be there's going to be a lot more just regular songs like this one. This one is a Catch original. Was very well liked there, and honestly we've seen this map played a decent amount of time so far. I wasn't really sure with this map if teams were going to pick into it too much, because it is a very odd map. Like the start rating on this is really low, if you notice. It's one of those maps that looks really comfy, but then there's similar to that DT3, there's a lot of things that like will just catch you off guard. Some of the slider aim is deceptively difficult. So I think overall, this has actually been one of the lower score averages on the pool, if I'm not wrong. Not near the lowest, but definitely a little bit lower than the average. It's a bit of a difficult one, but somewhat popular though. It's like in the middle ground. I think we've seen this played 10 or 11 times by now over the course of I don't know how many matches, 30-ish.
Wow.
Yeah, a lot of
Decent pick
a
rate.
lot of group stage matches.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Well, there's
48
48
matches.
matches. Yeah.
That's awesome, though. Get to see more players and teams.
We get to play more OS at the OWBC, so I'm happy with more matches. The one side effect of that is from round of 32 last year to group stage this year, we literally tripled the number of matches in the first stage of the tournament from 16 to 48. So it's a lot more OSU. But I've been enjoying it.
I mean, it allows us to have a lot more screen time for a lot of people, I suppose. Both teams and casters, I guess. We have a lot more new guests even this week. Hype list. Yeah, but also a lot of the other casters that people are already used to listening to from other tournaments and stuff that we've added as well. So I think there's also around 10 of those. I think everyone's been doing quite a good job. So more matches is good.
We have a little bit of development here. Eternum finding the early miss for Romania, but that's it. Everybody else is still full comboing a quarter of the way into the map. This is going to sound a little bit off topic, but this map gives me such Impulse mapped by Handsome vibes. I don't know exactly what it is. I just get the vibe from it.
I kind of get it.
I just have to say it. I just have to say it out loud. Like it's been eating away at me for like a week. But
Yeah,
this is
decided
really close.
shapes,
I
yeah.
mean, 7 FCs still. Just the one miss for Eternum. Only 200 combo back or so from an FC. And now you have, both teams seeing that at the break and knowing, okay, we all basically have to FC if we want to win. So this is massive pressure on both teams going into this second half here. Last diff spike up right now and still no misses for anyone. Everybody just still holding on for both of their teams. It's another miss for Eternum. And that's going to give a bigger advantage over to Finland. Still no misses on anybody else. Still the 7-way FC Origin. The next one to find the drop. Make that 6 FCs, but still 4 for Finland. Just immaculate on this map. I mean, what do you do? It's a 4-way FC with less than a quarter of the map left to go. 400,000 score lead. It doesn't look like a huge score lead because this is a tech map, because the accuracy is just a little bit lower by default on picks like this. Finally, a break comes through for Isaac. Not going to be the 4-way FC for Finland on this map. But this is what you talk about in terms of Finland and early stage consistency and just being a scrappy team. This isn't even a low scoring pick for them. This is one of the best scores on this map of the weekend. Finland just got that dog in them sometimes, and they make a stand on this Nomad 4.
This isn't even their pick.
No, that's a break point.
That is the top. We only have week 1 stats, I think, for now. We haven't really compiled the ones from earlier today, but that is the top scorer on this map, by the way. the
Wow.
previous best, I think, was China at 3.2 million. They just got 3.5. So, yeah, I mean, you can just not count Finland out. I mean, even despite being at a disadvantage seed-wise here, being the weakest team in this group, you just cannot count these guys out on maps like this. Any sort of these, reading or tech gimmicky maps like this, they're going to show up. And I am quite curious, actually, about Nomad 5 if that ends up being played, because that one hasn't been played. I wonder if they're equally as good at that one. But we'll have to see until later, because they're going to go into Hidden 1 now, which is interesting to me, because, again, stats-wise, Hidden 1 has been their worst map. So, I don't know, maybe they're looking to rectify that.
Experimenting. Trying something new.
I do have a very interesting stat for you on that map, Azer.
Yeah.
That score from Finland was better than any score last week by about 300k, right? Better than the top score from China of about 300k. China themselves beat their own best score on that by about 100k and then 100k again. So for a very short time had the 3 best scores on the map as of today. And then basically immediately afterwards in Japan, Singapore, I think that's a 4-way FC, just straight up 4-way FC the map for nearly 3.6 million team score. So they're number 2 on the map, but they're better than a team that for a time had the 3 top scores on the map all at once. That's a very interesting map that the teams at the top are maybe extremely consistent on that map.
Thank you for the Heliosphere World Record Speedrun History Live Edition.
Yeah, I don't know. I like this map for Romania. It's a very different sort of map, right? We don't really have, again, too much info. But Romania on alt, on tech, are generally a pretty solid team. We saw them lose against Finland on that map, but it's not like their team score was bad. It was still a good team score on that map. And in the qualifiers had some solid runs on both of the hiddens. That said, Finland, you can say something very similar about their runs on qualifiers on especially the Hidden 1. in that qualifier stage. Plus, they just beat Romania on that tech pick. So I know this is a lot more of a control focused pick, but I'm interested to see how this goes and just how different this feels for these players.
Yeah, Romania actually going to swap out one of their core players. Kehes going to sit this one out for Pregnancy, who had in qualifiers has basically mostly played the Hard Rock 2 in qualifiers and then a couple of other random fill maps, I think. So it seems to be able to come in for a select few maps like this one. So this is going to be the first map of this entire tournament as well. But first one in this match. I'm always curious on this one because the start of this map is kind of the hardest part by a long shot. I feel like this long stream here has been... Okay, no, they're all fine. All right, never mind.
Oh, mostly
Just
fine.
Galandu, yeah.
I'm curious, Liz, since we're still at the start of the map, if you have any insights on how, like, talking about skill sets works for newer viewers to the OS World Cup. Does it kind of make things make a little sense as the picks come through? Or is it all
Like
just kind of a wash?
Like explaining like the skill sets needed in a map or for a player?
Yeah, generally. Or
Generally,
explaining the pick strategy behind some of the teams?
Yes, as a viewer, I definitely appreciate that, especially on top of, you know, being a newer viewer to the game. I think it helps make it more, you know, understandable for anyone who is just tuning in for the first time or returning after a break. You know what I mean? I enjoy it a lot. I appreciate it.
Glad one of the things we spend a lot of time on is actually useful. And oh my god,
Absolutely.
Origin and Pregnancy just both missed right in the middle. That is one hell of a name. I'm just realizing I have to cast that name now. Double miss for Romania right in the middle of the map, though, is really rough on this sort of pick. A Tournament Badu still holding the double FC, but there's a two-way FC for Amacetic and Isaac on Finland. And, of course, Kalanlu and Savilju holding on to really good supporting combo there for Finland as well. So this is looking like a bit of a wash on this map for Romania. Origin and Pregnancy finding those misses once again. And the score lead, the combo lead, continuing to grow for Finland. And this is now nearly a 500,000 score lead with just a quarter of the map left. Even with that miss from Kalanlu, I just don't think it's going to matter. There's just not that much score left in this double FC for a Tournament Badu. Even if Finland were to find a four-way wipe right now, it's already over. Another breakpoint for Finland and a 3-1 lead for the bottom-seeded team in the group against the top-seeded Romania.
Yeah, Finland's throwing hands today. Like this is kind of an insane performance across the board on every single map here. I mean, I don't know if it's because they're already 0-2 in the group, but I mean, I feel like they're looking like a different team now. This is getting a little spicy, I think, for Romania, who once again, like they have to win this in order to be in a comfortable position in order to get top 2 in this group, or else they might actually end up in the losers bracket if they lose it. Like, this is supposed to be their free win, right? Like, on paper, the other two matches that they're going to go against are supposed to be a lot harder than this one, but Finland is not playing like seed 22 right now. Like, this is a really, really good performance from them.
Finland came to fight.
Finland definitely came to fight. They're having a very good run today. And yeah, I mean, this is, you know, for a reminder for everyone, these teams are all in the top 24. The top 24, or rather seeds 9 through 24, were put into groups by themselves. The top 2 out of each group get into winner's bracket to face a team from the top 8 that just went straight to winner's bracket, no group stage required. While the bottom 2 go straight to loser's bracket. So it's potentially a major upset here for Romania if they lose this match, and that ends up being a loss that sends them to loser's bracket. New Zealand is already 2 wins. So if Romania lose to Finland here, they lose one more time, they're pretty much eliminated from the group. And they have, as you said, Azer, both of their harder matches left up. So Finland looking to maybe play upset here in this group.
This honestly gets really interesting because there is a pretty real chance of Finland getting 3rd place in this group now. which, it still won't put them in the winner's bracket, but it will get them an easier opponent in the loser's bracket. And we did talk about this map before. Nomad1 actually picked here. I think this is the third time it's been picked total. We have not been seeing this map too much. So I guess it's good to finally get to see it. We'll see what we were trying to convey. But yeah, some very swingy aim here. Lots of like triangles, like very wide aim. Supposed to be very comfy, but I mean supposedly not. I guess we'll see soon enough.
I'm excited to see the swing. Couple swing maps, no?
There's a few, yeah. I think it's also been a while since maybe this is personally, but as a reminder, Badoo's really good at Nomad1s. This guy's got really good aim, and he's I think finally got a team that is able to back him up on stuff like that. So I'm curious to see how this is gonna go. Like with how many breakpoints have been happening in this match. Somehow I don't think this is going to be one of them. Like on paper, I think Romania should be a very, very strong aim team. So I'm curious to see how this one goes.
We were talking a lot about this map before the match started, or rather just as the match was starting up. This Nomad1 that a lot of teams have felt rather uncomfortable about picking. So much so that it's actually been getting banned out, which is not usually the case for a Nomad1 early stage. And Romania, I mean, I think they actually have a pretty solid aim lineup. I think Finland's roster really likes especially free-mod flow aim maps the most, and flow aim generally is a much stronger suit for this Finnish roster than most other things. Whereas Romania, I feel like a lot of their players just have very, very solid aim consistency. You look at Badoo, you look at Origin. Those two players in particular, from what I know of this team, just look very, very good on aim consistency in general.
Yeah, I'm looking at Lurdilo on the other side, who's already kind of made a splash with some previous maps in other matches. And I guess we don't have music here. Hold on. Slot 1 did not connect. But yeah, I mean, the depth of roster in this Finnish team is like really impressing me. I gotta say, like I've touched about this when we were talking about free mods earlier, and how they just seem to throw someone different every time. But I think the pool being a little bit of a lower skill cap is really playing well to their strengths now that I guess they're used to playing. Maybe they had a couple of jitters in the first two matches, but I gotta say I'm really impressed from so many different players on this team. So we'll have to see if they can keep it up here on this aim Nomad1, which on paper Romania should be really, really good at. But I mean, so far Finland's been looking just so good in this match. Like, it's hard to ignore.
Well, we'll see. Okay. Well,
okay. All right.
All right. Well, that's rather poor timing there, as 3 misses come out for Finland immediately on the first KI time. And there's the last one also, and that's all 4 players on the Finnish team having missed. Only Kahes for Romania having missed in that first KI time and pregnancy at the start of the map, but still 2 full combos for Origin and Badoo, plus the reverse choke there for pregnancy.
Mazer, nice. I had to make it interesting.
Yeah, play Mazer, role number 1.
Yeah, I can blame Mazer for that one, that's for sure. But, I mean, there's still a lot of map left to go, right? We're coming into the second KI time here. If you find a wipe in the middle of the map for Romania, this is by no means lost for Finland, but I think you do kind of need a few misses in this second KI time if you want to be able to win this map as Finland. There is a more difficult control section after this KI time as well. So maybe we see some misses there. There goes pregnancy. That's 1 out of 4, but I feel like you just need more. Kahest is matching the combos from Finland, and of course the FCs are basically double combo right now. A little bit less than that now as we come closer and closer to 1K total. for each of those FCs, and nobody missing during this control section. It's another miss for pregnancy there. Badu actually dropping the FC as well, but it's a 300,000 score lead for Romania. And yeah, the score is starting to come back the way of Finland, but I don't really know if there's enough time. You look at Kahest basically matching one of the combos from Finland, and then the extra support, definitely better than that one FC for Origin, but there's only a quarter of the map left, and this score lead is not moving that quickly. It's going to come down to the ending KI time here, and if Finland can hold these combos, well, if maybe one or two more misses come out for Romania, that could be the deciding factor here. But if Romania is able to hold, I think they should still have this map as we come up into the ending. Just some more jumps in this KI time, more of the same. Not a big diff spike at the moment during this ending KI time. It is a little bit harder, but not by all that much. Everybody's still holding strong. There goes Kahest. That's another break for Romania. It's just Origin holding the FC versus these 4 recovery combos for Finland. Down under 100k, down under 75k, and rapidly going back the way of Finland. Another miss for pregnancy. Under 30.
Oh my god, oh my god.
It's going to be enough time. Yes, it comes back to Finland right at the end of the map, and they all 4 of them clutch up for a 4th point for Finland on the board.
Another breakpoint too, right?
Another breakpoint as well.
Wow.
So I told you we had to make it interesting.
Finland fighters.
Hey, Liz, do you understand now why teams are banning the Nomad 1?
Yeah.
Not making this map?
I get it. That was cinema. Absolute cinema. Curse didn't even matter at that point.
Yeah, honestly, I was really expecting Origin to drop something at the end there, but even holding on there with 200s, which is kind of crazy on this, by the way, like, didn't even matter. I don't know, man. This Finnish team today is something else, and they still have so many picks that are on paper like really good for them. You know, I was talking about all 3 free mods, and there's still 2 of them. And we're not going to see it. Okay, let's take a look at Nomad 2, which I think... Is this the most picked map? I think this is probably the most popular map.
I think as of last week, this was... Yeah, as of last week, this was the most popular map. Free Mod 2 and Hidden 1 were the 2 runner-ups, 1 map behind, actually. 15 picks for Free Mod 2, 16 for this Nomad 2 last weekend, 15 for Nomad 2, and 14 for the Hidden 1. So a lot of picks on those 3 maps, but this is the most popular map in the pool. And I think that makes a lot of sense, because if you're banning speed, you're most of the time banning out the DT2 and leaving up this Free Mod 2 just because it's lower BPM. And if you want to pick speed, well, your opponent already banned the speed map, so you're just left with this immediately. And that is backed up in the bans. Nomad 2 last week was banned once, and DT2 was banned 8 times. So
I'm a little bit curious here. I think this pick on paper might be really smart from Finland here, because I do believe we're gonna have to see a new player from Romania here. Probably Capybara is gonna come in, who's played Nomad 2 in the qualifiers, because I don't think Badu is going to be playing this one, so they have to replace basically like their star player on this. You know, Badu was 19th in qualifier stats here, so picking a map that he's not playing, I think, is always going to be smart, especially when you're facing match point here like this. So we'll have to see who ends up stepping in for this one. I'm sure we'll see Origin Tournament Kahest in for this one, but probably Capybaras. There's a lot of other players on this team that could probably fill it. I think Alex Belea might be stepping in as well. But just judging off of that, considering this is Romania's first match, I would assume it's Capybaras, but we do see Robotonic joining the game, so...
If Finland wins this, are they secured 3rd place, right? For this group?
I think it depends on the future matches that Romania's play. Like, Romania still has their 2 other matches to play, so I think it becomes a pretty spicy group, because most teams are... if I think about this, if Romania beats New Zealand, then like every team is 2-1 or 1-2.
Oh,
Yeah, I think
That is
the
dicey.
most interesting outcome is if Romania loses to Finland and New Zealand and then wins versus Indonesia. That puts New Zealand at 3-0, which would be first out of the group no matter what. But all three other teams in the group would be tied at 1 and 2 for second place,
wow.
which is still a possible outcome. So there could still be a scenario where we have a three-way tie for second place, and with that, a scenario where Finland get out of the group. Despite going 0-2 in the first week, there's a scenario where they actually get out of the group, even at 1 and 2, and that is in fact the only scenario where they get out of the group, is that New Zealand has to go 3-0, and every other team has to go 1 and 2.
Does it go by points then? If there's a tie like that?
It would go by total map wins minus total
Right.
map losses, or point differential. So basically, the teams that win very decisively and lose very gracefully, still getting a lot of points when they lose, are favored for tiebreakers in that regard. As we get into this Nomad 2 pick, Finland looking to close it out and make that potential top 2 finish a reality with this Nomad 2 pick.
I mean, it's looking good. It's looking good for Finland.
Couple of early breaks there, one for Isaac, one for Amacetic, one for Zapay, all right at the start of the map, but only one FC for Capybaras on Romania. There goes Origin as well. That's the one other big combo on Romania right now. Robotonic and Eternum also having missed more recently than anyone on the side of Finland. It's just that lower combo for Isaac, but even then, that's better. No, Origin missed with Bancho, so we do still have that big combo for Origin on the side of Romania, but 3 really big combos for Finland. The FC on AJJ, Vadim Pikwa. I don't know how to pronounce Finnish, I'm sorry. And then Zapay and Amacetic.
We'll call him AJJ. I mean, despite Origin's miss being Bancho, I mean, score's still going up for Finland here, going towards the end. Oh my god, that miss. No.
That might just do it. I mean,
That
that's
one is bad. Oh no.
that's really bad timing on the miss for Capybaras, and I think it's over now. I think Finland is just taking this 5-1. There goes Robotonic as well. Origin is still on the reverse choke, but AJJ, Zapay, and Amacetic are all matching that combo. Isaac is matching the combo from Eternum, and this is Finland from last week going 0-2, just turning it up and beating Romania, the top seed in the group, 5-1. And doing it like with some really, really good team scores as well. We talked a little bit at the start of the match about Finland, maybe not being the highest scoring team ever. They really kind of put that to shame with this match. I mean, 3.4 million on this. We looked at 3.5 million plus on a bunch of other maps. They didn't just, beat Romania. They put up really, really good scores in this match the entire way through.
What an upset.
No, really, like this is such
That's a
an
huge upset.
over-performance for what is expected from Finland. Not only that, but I mean, also their actual scores, like across that entire match, I think is among the highest performing out of any match that's been played in the whole group stage. I'm pretty sure, like every single map, they're above they're near the top there on all of the map leaderboards. I'm actually really curious once we get all the stats after the end of this weekend to see, because I think that might be like the best, like match performance from a team, at least that we've seen so far. It should be pretty close to that. So, I mean, it may eventually not mean too much because of Finland's existing position in the group, but that is still something to be really proud of, I think, in terms of performance there. They did really, really good. And as for Romania, that makes this group really, really interesting now, and puts their next 2 matches in a pretty peculiar situation now, because they now have, I think, to beat both of them in order to advance. And both New Zealand and Indonesia have also been looking quite exceptionally good. Like, a lot of people were mentioning Group A probably being the group of death, like the group with China, Norway, Austria in it, but this one might have 4 teams in it. Like, this is kind of crazy.
This is scary. It's very scary. And I think both of these teams, Finland, they could definitely use some supporters cheering from the sidelines for that eventual three-way tie at 1 and 2. Romania, they definitely need some support as well from the fans. If you want to help support not just either of these teams, but any of your favorite teams in the OS World Cups, you can buy some banners. Stop by the OS store, get some banners, put them on your profile. If you do get the banner for the winning team in the OS World Cup, it'll stay on your profile as well until next year. So show out some support for both of these teams and to the rest of the teams. And a big shout out as well to our guest caster here, Listeroni. Thanks for joining us for this match. Hope you had a fun time watching this upset. This was a really cool match.
Yeah.
Yes, it was absolute cinema. Thank you so much, Dio and Azer, for having me, and congratulations, Finland. And I can't wait to see the rest of the tournament. I'll be eagerly awaiting.
That's gonna just about, that is just about gonna do it for us for now. That is all the matches from here today. So thank you once again to Listeroni and Azer for casting this along with me. And thank you to our streamers and referees for keeping things running all day long since 10 UTC. We have another long day tomorrow starting at 9 UTC with Singapore versus Greece to finish out the group stage, running for a good 11 hours all the way until 20 UTC. Actually, make that 13 hours because we have a 9 UTC match and then a 21 UTC round of 16 map pool showcase. So it'll be a good 13-hour day tomorrow here at OS Live. This is the group stage we know and love, everyone. So come on back tomorrow, 9 UTC to start the day for Singapore versus Greece, all the way up to 21 UTC for the round of 16 map pool showcase. We'll see you tomorrow.